What's going on, people, whatever land you're in? Welcome back. And as the thumbnail says, you gotta remember, if someone writes you a program, or if you're writing a program for yourself, I always underestimate the numbers by 10 to 15%. That way nobody misses, or I do not miss. But remember, whether you're following it to the T, to the very letter, or you're told to, or that's just your mindset, some days you're only as strong as your body will let you be, right? So it's just a guide. It's to get you from point A to point B, and the ideal goal is to get there safely, not be in a rush. Remember, powerlifting, any type of strength sport or combat sport or anything that you're trying to achieve an end goal, it is a marathon, not a race or a sprint. So if you go into the gym and it says on Monday, second week, first workout, and it's a squat workout, and your top number, say, is 225 for 6, in warm-ups, not feeling so good, and you just know, because you know yourself, you know your body, right? You know 225 for 6 is definitely going to be a struggle, might put you in a bad squat position, but you know it's going to be like way tougher than it should be, especially early in a training cycle. Instead of taking 225 for 6, knock it down to 225 for 3, or 225 for 4. Or take, say you warm up 135 for 10, and then you go 185 for 6, 205 for 6, and then you go right to your top number, 225 for 6. Stay at 205 and do that for 2 sets of 6. Don't even go into 225 land. And then just murder your accessories. Your programs are just guides to get you from point A to point B. That's it. It's not the letter of the law. If you go into your training program and you start missing your numbers, it does two things. One, it trains your central nervous system to miss often, which we do not want at all. And it brings down your confidence. I don't care if you've been doing this 1 year or 30 years. It literally brings down your confidence and you start second guessing yourself. So use it as a guide. I don't care if you paid $1,000 for a program. If it tells you to bench, if you're 8 weeks in and it says you got to do 310 for 2 sets of 6 or 2 sets of 8 or 1 set of 8, and you're warming up and you feel a little stiff, and even though you worked it out, maybe you stop and you foam roll a little bit in your shoulders and you open everything up, if it's still not in that groove, take your second number before you go to your main number and just repeat that for sets of 6, or go to your main number and hit it for a double or a triple and go home. It's really that simple. I don't want to see anybody get hurt, and I think a lot of people don't speak on it because the people selling the programs, and I sell programs, and I tell people straight up, what is your 1 rep max in squat, bench, and deadlift? And say they tell me 400 squat, 225 bench, 400 deadlift, and they want a 16-week program. I'll take their numbers and I'll minus a generous 10 to 15% off every number, and then lay out their 16 weeks. They'll do more reps and sets, but if they miss 1 or maybe twice out of 16 weeks, it's better than missing every other week, right? And also, you don't really know someone's true 1 rep max if you're not there to help them and really push them to the limit, especially if they've never done a meet before. So just have fun, lift, be smart. You know, I've talked about this before. Listen to your body. And listen to your body if you're not feeling up to it. We all have days where you just don't want to be there. Some days you don't want to be there and you go in and everything clicks and you're like, okay, rock and roll, like I'm good to go. Like I work midnight shift. So right now it is 12:21 in the morning. I get out of work at 7 o'clock in the morning. I'll go do my first bench day, which is Wednesday, after I get off of work. Now, I don't want to go into the gym after I worked. And I stay fully hydrated. I mean, I got tons of food with me. I drink 2 to 3 of these. They're 80 ounces each. Try to stay fully hydrated. Even if I go in and I'm just like, oh man, like I really don't want to do this. But you know you got to. You got to put some work in. There's some days where you just can't do it. I recommend skipping that day altogether. But if you're just in that mindset of like, shit, you know, and you walk in and then as you start warming up, you're like, okay, rock and roll, like, I can do this. If you go in there and you're like, okay, rock and roll, everything just feels horrible. Leave. Now, if you go in and you don't feel super horrible, but you don't feel at your best, and things are feeling a little bit heavier than normal, either repeat. Say you're doing 225 and it's a day where you got to do 225 for your top set is 6 reps, right? So you do all your warm-ups. And for me, if I was to do it, this is how I would do it. I would go 135 for 10. I would go to the bar for 10 twice. 95 for 15. Then I would go 135 for 10. Then I would go 185 for 6, 205 for 6, 225 for 6. That's how I would approach it. Now, if I was in that in-between state where, like, not going home, but not like, yeah, like I'm woken up and I'm ready to get it, I would do the bar. Like I said, I would do the bar twice. I do 95. I do 135, and I would do 205 for 2 sets of 6 instead of going to 225 for 6. So use it as your programs as a training guide. That's all it's for. I appreciate everybody that's been subscribing. Hit me up on Instagram. I really appreciate all you. Like, I can't explain it enough. I'm very excited. I'm glad people are subscribed to the channel. And please like, subscribe, and share. And, well, I already told you, it's week 1, day 1 of my bench day. And I'll have some video footage up that later, well after this is uploaded. But, yeah, remember the motto of the channel, you know, SEW, stronger every week. No matter what area of your life it is, right? If it's mental, if it's physical, emotional. People equate mental stability with emotional stability. Not the same. You could be super mentally strong. And a lot of people don't realize this. You can be really mentally strong, but have real deep emotions. And your emotions can overtake your good mental state. Your mental state and your emotional state are in parallel, but they're not the same. Trust me when I tell you, they are not the same. So just try and get stronger in one area of your life. Whatever you're having a hard time with, if it's personal, whatever, every week just become a little bit stronger of a person in general. And that's all we can ask for, you know. And we can lift weights and we can do everything we can do as long as we're healthy in mind, body, and spirit, right? So once again, appreciate all of you. I hope you dig this little video for you guys, and I'll have some more content out of me lifting, and it's bare bones content. Like, I'm starting from the beginning, scrapping everything I ever knew. It took me 3 weeks to write out everything I wrote out for myself, and even though I can do a lot more than what I'm doing, I'm building up to a certain goal, and it's a very personal goal, and it's a raw, full meat goal. So, and I'll make it happen. That's just how I am. But I want everybody else out there, whatever your goal is, I want you guys to make it happen too. So from my channel to everyone out there, thank you. And Stronger Every Week, SEW. Thank you very much for listening. You guys have a great, positive day. Later.